I'm here.
Hey, y'all. What's going on, y'all?
And I hope you guys are doing well.
Oh, you're doing good.
You think they are? Think they're doing good? Hello, everyone.
Hey, Warner.
Welcome to another session. And we're glad to have you with us. What are you drinking? What you making faces?
It's sweet. It's too sweet. I can't take
Why
it.
don't you make it so sweet? What is it? First of all, tell me what it is.
Honey, ginger, protein powder, uh, smooth mood.
You got that in there?
Everything I could get in the dish pan, I put in there.
Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna bust.
Yes, you are.
Wide
Especially
open.
smooth move, you can definitely bust.
Huh?
With smooth move, you definitely gonna bust.
What smooth mood do?
It's a laxative. Huh? He's starting already.
Oh God! Oh Lord, help me,
Starting
baby!
already.
Help me, baby Jesus!
He's got this big drink. I don't know if you got to see
And I put
it.
some stuff in it to make you do the hucklebuck.
Well, that smooth move will make you do the hucklebuck.
I am good and ready.
Anywho, thank you guys for coming in to see us with our crazy selves.
Hello, Miss Phillips and Grease and all your Savannah moonshines out there.
There's Dee Dee and George and Sissy and brother-in-law and our Greases in the house. And
Dee Dee and Lefty. That's Lefty.
And then there's Jill.
Jill.
You still globe-trotting girl. I tell you, that girl be going.
Jill over the
She
hill.
don't let those wheels rest at all. Going. But anyway, we're glad to have you with us. And all the rest of you who are out tuning in and putting any comments up, that's okay. It's been hot and heavy. Hot. What?
Nothing.
Why are you making a face at me?
It's hot.
It is. It's hot. It's so hot I don't want to go outside, but I do go out just a little bit, take baby girl with us. Jill says she's home again now. Oh, good girl. I tell you, she's been globetrotting. She always does, though. That's what she does. And hopefully she's been having some good trips and good conferences or whatever. You got something good on your menu tonight? Nothing good on your menu? Well, I'm trying to get my brain right and trying to get myself together here because I've been on the phone for the last 2 hours with insurance companies.
Everything all right.
It's all right now. Yeah.
Home again, Miss Jill. Home again.
Yeah, it's all right now. But man, I tell you.
You know, I just really realized that the new birth experience misunderstood is really, when it's understood, is I'm home again.
Yeah.
We left home and came here and act like we forgot about home. And then our divine mind took over and revealed to us the new birth experience, but it was mistranslated to mean to be born again is to get your memory back of your originality of the eternal self.
Okay. Well, I hear you.
But it's been taught opposite. In our religious circles.
It has. That's true.
And the new birth experience and the kingdom of God is really the same thing.
That's true. Yeah.
Now, people say, well, I know it's something more. The King James Version, remember, it said that was a version that was put together by Mr. King called James.
Okay.
And when he put it together, it was designed to manipulate and control people into misplaced identity.
Thank you, Sissy. She said she can hear and see us clearly.
Well, we can't hear you.
Jill says, quieting the mind feels like home again.
And home again is the quiet.
You know, I wanted to mention something before we do get started. We were already started. But Sunday when we were talking, I began the session with what I'm still kind of contemplating in a contemplative conversation within myself, that we're in these 3 different stages, I should say, the ones of us who are in this community, this spiritual community. are going through at least 3 different processes at one time.
Mm-hmm.
The one that we know of, awakening, of course, is where we are coming into realization of who we are and all of that, and what God is, and how that relates to us in our everyday life. But then there is the decolonization that is also taking place, specifically for those of us who here in the West have adapted and adopted the beliefs and adapted to the ways of European culture when it comes to religion. And that's also being pulled out of us at the same time. We are now realizing that, you know, Jesus wasn't a white man with blue eyes, although he can appear to someone that way if he chooses. Uh, I think God that Jesus appears to people the way they can handle it the best.
Now that's not acceptable, but in the religious circles, because they believe like the pictures they show on television and in books.
So for those of us who are people of color, it's like our God has always been white. And that is not necessary. That is not true. We know that now. So that's the decolonization that's taking place. We realize that the portrayal that the Jesus that they portrayed with the blue eyes and the long straight hair and all of that, this white skin, was not how Jesus actually was. And not that his body really matters, but it's that we people of color have never had a God that we relate to that relates to us as a race. And so that's the decolonization that's taking place in us. And I think when you go back in the movie, you never watched that movie called Sinners with the black, the most recent movie that was done by Afro Americans who were portraying the decolonization process, and they use vampires and they use that as a metaphor to show how people are being pulled into it, just like a vampire. You know, a person gets bitten by a vampire, they get sucked into a way of life and they get tricked into it. And this is what happened to us. We've all been tricked into that colonization. And it's not so much racist, it's that we were all given the wrong portrayal.
Mm-hmm.
And some of us still have that belief that that's the way it is. And then we're going through that decolonization. And then there's the deconstruction from the religious culture that we've been in for those of us who come through the church, specifically the evangelical charismatic church, Pentecostal holiness church even. We are really being dismantled. A lot of our beliefs are being really, really dismantled.
I call it bamboozled, but that's it.
Yeah, and so our beliefs are being dismantled, and so that process is going on inside of us as well. Where some of us are still struggling with, okay, how do I reconcile this that I have believed all my life with what I know now? And so that process is taking place, and so those of you who are here and listening to us on a regular basis, you are actually going through a three-step process all at one time, simultaneously, pretty much, which can be overwhelming to a point, because I know one person that I spoke with, I won't call their names, but one person was trying to decide, okay, how do I now relate to the people that I used to be with, who still believe this way, this other way, who still are within the confines of religion, in the box, as you say.
Yeah.
How do I relate to them? But at the same time, there is no schism, so it should not be a problem relating to them. You just can't relate to them based on the bond of your belief systems. So now your belief systems are totally different.
It is.
Yeah, we're actually living beyond our belief systems at this point. Those of us in this
when I found out that if you are a Christian and you say you have given your life over to God and you have received what is called the experience of the Holy Spirit, or receiving the Spirit of God inside, I didn't know that receiving the Holy Spirit was God Himself that was the real self of all mankind.
And see, what you're talking about now is the deconstruction.
Deconstruction.
We're losing church brain. We're losing the church brain.
I found out that the big key is that I found out that what is inside of me is looking what is inside of other people. In spite of the frustration of the carnal mind or the human mind or the thinking mind. I say it like that.
So what you're saying now is you're mixing, which is nothing wrong with it, it's supposed to be. You're mixing deconstruction with our mystical knowing of who we are with it. So it's like our awakening and our deconstruction is mixed into your words, which is what it's supposed to be. But that process is going on inside of us all at the same time.
And there's a lot of teaching over the years that taught us that the fullness of God, meaning having everything that you want physically, that you ask God to give you, and you got it. And that's not a sign of the fullness of God.
Well, that's the other thing we talked about on Sunday. Was a lot of us have been in survival mode, and a lot of people who are going through the rituals of going into church and getting saved and getting born again and all of this. They're in survival mode, and a lot of them have their basis of their relationship with God is strictly based on whether or not God can meet their needs, and God can rescue them, or God can protect them. So this is how a lot of people's relationships begin, and they never come out of the survival mode. Some never come out of it. But when you've had an awakening, even if it's a glimpse of who you are, it begins to change from survival mode to being intent. My intention is to fully awake and to end my personal suffering. That's what Jill was talking about a moment ago when she talking about quieting the mind feels like home again. She said that. So if the mind could ever stop running around, or you could ever get to the place where you ignore it enough, where your suffering stops, then that is your intent. So here we are. We've got this three aspect of process going on inside of us, but at the same time, we're awakening to more and more and expanding in our awareness.
Awareness believes that the thinking mind or the chaotic mind is us doing that. And when I found out who the real self is as the eternal Christ of all men.
And how did you come in? Do you know how you came into that? It's been a whole lot
all
of
of a sudden, I came to the end. I was brought to the end of something that was not fulfilling what the character of Christ was, from what I experienced, from direct experience to direct experience of seeing him in person.
Well, I want to add to that if my memory serves me correctly, what I saw you do in the beginning was because of the traumas that you had in your personal life,
right?
The PTSD,
right?
When we first got married, you had nightmares at night,
right?
Remember? And so your motivation to go into the closet was pretty much to get some help.
Yeah, I went in the closet as a little boy, 4, 5, and 6 years old, because
you used to get help.
I went in the closet because I've always heard. I didn't read it. I didn't touch the Bible no more than that. It was a book you don't mess with unless you're serious. A man sat on the sofa at 1144 North Church Street in Winston-Salem and told me that when you pray, you're supposed to go into your closet. But what he was really trying to explain to me was that you shut everything out. But I took it literally as a closet, and I went in. So
your reason for going in at that time was because of the environment.
The environment was so hellish and shotgun moonshine house that I would go in there and plead with God, who I was in the dark looking up at the ceiling, thinking that he was way up there and I'm down here. And I'm praying because I want to try to get a message through to him.
Yeah, and at that time, you were in survival mode because you were looking to God to help you out
Yeah,
of this
that's the only.
situation.
He was the only one that I knew from watching television
Mhm.
and Cecil B. DeMille's Ten Commandments, the movies, that if I could get God's attention like Moses was in those movies, then I would. All this stuff in my house would cease to exist.
Exactly. Now,
But it didn't.
It did not. Well, it did when you got away from it.
When I got
You
away
got
from
away
it,
from
when
it.
finally it was set up for my life to go in a different direction
Yeah,
than what I was raised up in.
but after you got away from it, it was still harassing
It was
you.
still harassing.
So this is where
That's the chaotic mind.
yes, and this is where your intent became, I got to relieve my personal suffering. I've got to get out of this suffering.
That's right.
And it was coupled with trying to find ways to have the power of God in your life.
That's
and all
right.
that, and hear the voice of God. It was
That's
coupled
right.
with all that. But the intent, the baseline of that going in the closet had to deal with the PTSD and how you were going to work yourself through it, how you're going to work through it. And so the survival mode at some point, it kind of took a back seat because you realize I'm no longer in danger, but the personal suffering was still in the psyche.
Still, yeah.
So the intent then became,
and
how do I relieve? Yeah, how do I relieve the personal suffering? And this is what drove us, and I think the Spirit of God drove us just like it drove Jesus in the wilderness, into the wilderness. It drove us.
God's internal steering wheel.
It drove us to seek to look more deeply into things that the church couldn't answer for us. The church couldn't address. And that's when we developed the courage to look outside of the realm of the church box and the church.
What I picked up from Miss D say, quieting the mind feels like home again. What I found out over the years, I couldn't quiet the mind like some people said, shut the mind down.
I could. All the time.
What I had to do, Miss Jill, and you heard me talk about it, I had to find some way or some place in me where there was no chaoticness. And when I found out that even though the mind is chaotic and it wouldn't get quiet, my true identity was the quietness of God inside, irregardless of a frustrated, aggravated, chaotic mind. So I left the mind do what it wanted to do, but I left it. I split it. I split off from it.
Well, you're talking about a real easy technique, but we don't apply it when it comes to our spirituality. I'll say it like that. Because when we're in a restaurant, and I've used this analogy before, when we're in a restaurant and people are all around us talking, they could be right next to us in another table or another booth, and we're sitting in one booth and they're sitting in another, we can actually tune them out.
Yeah, you do it all the time.
And focus on just what's in our booth.
I've seen you sit here talking to Shirley yesterday, and you were talking to her, and I'm sitting right there in the middle of it. And every time I say something, neither one of you heard what I said. And when you're with your sister, you do the same thing. When you're on the computer, you do the same thing. You're watching television, you do the same thing.
You feel some kind of way, don't you?
Huh?
You feel some kind of way, don't you?
I just stop. I just stop trying to get your attention.
Yeah, but the point is,
and that's the metaphor.
The point is, the mind doesn't have to shut up.
No,
that you can.
For you to be walking in holiness and walk of the Spirit, the mind does not have to stop thinking bad thoughts and chaotic stuff in order for you to walk in peace.
Yes, and that's what we discovered.
Thank you very much.
And so now the quest is not trying to shut my mind up, trying to quiet this thing. I leave it.
To try to shut the mind up is doing what the mind wants. Get your attention.
It fuels it. It actually fuels it.
It fuels it.
It makes it worse. John Griffin says, he said, I had to hit the closet, didn't have a choice. Well, I understand.
Hey, hit the closet.
Man, I understand.
I had to, because that's what a shotgun was. Shotgun was right there beside me. That mom could use all the time to run all the drunks out the house.
And Jill, and the thing is, and I can appreciate what Jill said, because a lot of people are struggling trying to quiet the mind. But if you ever get to experience a time when the mind is still going on its commentary and it doesn't bother you, that's the freedom. It can still have its commentary.
It will always have its commentary, Miss Jill.
But it won't bother you.
But you know through the knower. Now, and here's the clue. The eternal self is the one that is observing that as the real you, and that is you observing the chaotic mind.
Yeah.
It's not about it having moments. The mind have more moments of thinking, frustration, and aggravation. But if you will go deeper in to identity of your Christ identity, which is going to take its own presence doing this. If the mind tries, like years ago, they taught us about faith. Faith, you can have what you say. That was a mind trying to get the mind to believe that it could believe God for anything, when you don't have to believe God for anything, because you're made out of the thing that God is. Belief.
A lot of the things that we
and Galatians 2:20 told you that the life that I now live in the flesh, to live by the faith of. The faith being God, your eternal self, is the one living this thing with the chaos.
True.
So you don't try to change the mind.
So one of the things that I've discovered about my own journey is that we fall into grace.
Fall into
grace. You can struggle with trying to quiet the mind and keep doing it, and I suggest that you do. I encourage you to continue to try to quiet the mind, because what's going to happen is you're going to do that for so long until you wear yourself out, and at some point you're going to say, "Oh,
now what is wearing out?"
I don't know, but at some point you get
the mind wears itself.
The heck with it. Just do what you want to do.
The mind
tell the mind, okay, just go ahead and do what you're gonna do, and then you walk away from it internally. Your focus, your intention, your attention.
There is no way that the mind is going to be still on its own. If it does on its own, it is independently acting as the ego.
Now I like Robert sent me a good video, and I watched that thing, Robert, about the Hokoya. Boy, I gotta go back and look at that again, about the empath, the Hokoya empath. I've got to go back and look at it some more, and it's amazing. That pegged him. That's like painting a portrait of this rascal. But anyway, Robert says, imagine, and I like the analogy that Robert's giving. Imagine watching cars driving by. Here they come, there they go.
All the time. And on the train, the same thing.
And you didn't try to stop a car,
or
jump in it, or take a ride. Just watch them. And this is the attitude I'm saying to take with the mind. Let the commentary go. Let it just happen. When you just let it happen without being disturbed by it happening, then all of a sudden there's peace.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to be disturbed because a thought went through me.
When you find out that you are in your absolute true identity, the non-disturbed self.
Mm-hmm. You are. You really are. You really are. We don't always see ourselves that way.
Remember, I told you, I give you the example of the young lady that was driving a car and driver training, and the instructor was sitting beside her. And when it started raining, she started wobbling in the road because she turned the windshield wipers on, and she was trying to follow the windshield wipers. And the driver told us, no, don't follow the windshield wipers. Look straight out in front of you.
And that's the same as what Robert's saying. I'm driving my car, but I'm not giving the windshield wipers my attention. And this is where there's no disturbance, because there's a constant moving across in front of your vision. It's constantly moving in front of your vision, but it doesn't bother you that it's there. It's just there. And let it come in and let it go out. So that's the way it is.
I heard Miss Ada Mackin say it's called effortless effort.
Effortless effort. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's like when I tell you guys all the time when I'm back in the shop or the garage cutting wood, and the blade on the saw is not cutting fast enough. There's a part of the inner effort, internal, mental, psychological effort that tries to help the blade cut through the wood.
Yeah.
And the Spirit said, eternal self says, let it do its job.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You don't get up in a tree with the monkey. you observe it
You
and
just look at the
stay,
monkey, let it
look at it,
just look at
get
it.
to the place where you can look at it and not identify with it. Now that's going to take the eternal
But
self
even
doing
even
that.
trying not to identify with it is effort. So
And over
the effort itself has to be worn out. You just have to wear itself out.
on what did he say
He's
that?
saying an unobserved mind is
Mhm.
an accident in motion. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we call it spontaneous ugliness.
What's spontaneous
The
ugliness?
mind, it act ugly. It'll bring up the
Sometimes
past.
it's not ugly stuff. It's sometimes it's really beautiful stuff that it brings up.
Well, that's true.
And
Good memories.
you get caught up in a fantasy.
But
You
when
get
you
caught
go
up
up
in something you
now,
dream and you want to do.
when I look over here and I see and say that walk in the spirit and you shall not fulfill the desires of the monkey mind.
Mhm.
The monkey mind, lustful and it hates. It has adultery thoughts, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, adultery, witchcraft, all that stuff. That's not you doing that. That's the mechanism. That's the machine called the mind.
But now, going back to what I was talking about, the process that we're going through, the simultaneous three-stage, three-aspect process of deconstruction, decolonization, and awakening. The deconstruction is when I begin to recognize that a lot of things I've been taught, a lot of things that I've believed have been wrong,
Mm.
or not just wrong, they have been false.
Mhm.
And not only that, they've been fear-based. And so then while I'm going through the deconstruction process, there's a lot of anxiety that comes up because now all of a sudden, things that I used to believe in, I no longer believe in. And it causes a little bit of tension because now how do I conduct myself without that? How do I embody that? How do I live my life? If I've lived as a Bible toting church going Christian all my life, and now all of a sudden I'm realizing there's holes in this thing,
Daddy,
and
mama
it
called.
won't hold no water
Yeah,
anymore.
that mama called. Daddy sent, and somebody just picked up the Bible and went.
Yeah, and it don't hold water anymore. And then I realize, okay, now what does my life consist of now? So that's where some of us are in that place.
In my family, everybody that was connected to my uncle, who was one of the money making moonshiners during that time. Everybody in the apartment, and every time he would move, they would move with him because they wanted to be able to be successful in the moonshine business like he was. So that
Mm-hmm.
they all tried to sell moonshine, and it didn't work.
My dad tried selling moonshine.
Uh-uh.
And it never worked because dad was he wanted to keep the family too private and safe and
You
secure.
can't
So
do
you
that. You
can't
can't do
have
that.
a liquor house and do that. Brenda, hey Brenda, she said, so the ego mind is also the monkey mind. Absolutely. And
Mhm.
I realized this too, Brenda, that the ego mind is not really an actual separate
Yeah,
entity. It's
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 an
it's
energy.
it's when we are believing and when life is filtered through our conditioning.
It's a conditioning.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All of that conditioning that you went through, Brenda, and we went. Well, I put it like that: the mind went
The
through,
body
the
experienced
body
it.
experienced it,
Mm-hmm.
the soul
Mm-hmm.
feeling,
The body experienced
uh,
it.
thinking, sleeping in the cold, eating what you could get by with, going to school, wondering how you're going to pay for your books and what you're
Or
going to
having
wear the
or
next
having a
day.
debilitating condition and having to live with that.
I had to
And
live with it.
yeah.
It will take a spirit being of the heavenly realm identifying face to face, coming out from hiding in consciousness, unconscious,
Mm-hmm.
to come forward in awareness. There is absolutely no way we are going to walk this divine walk without spirit. And then when I say spirit, I'm not talking about a manifestation like thunder and lightning and the angels appearing. I'm talking about just raw, no excitement, no
Mm-hmm.
giddy up and go,
Mm-hmm.
just sitting still. It is something inwardly that takes place. You find God Some of us have found him for a moment in church and a moment in getting what we call prayer
Some
answered,
powerful moments.
powerful
Actually.
experiences,
Yeah.
but that is still not enough to keep you in your true identity awareness. That is
Or
a
to alleviate,
prefab idea.
or to alleviate your personal psychological
It won't,
suffering.
that ex, getting what you want from God, getting your prayers answered, is not going to hold. Excuse me, not going to hold you.
And I'm gonna, in being transparent. I like to be. I try to be transparent as much as I can, but for myself, I've reached a stage that I'm not real sure about at this point in my walk. On this journey through oneness and that embodying that, I've come to a place where I don't want to hear a lot of spiritual teachings.
I don't either.
I don't want to hear a lot of spiritual teachings. I want to hear the same words going over and over and over. I know that now. I've heard that now. I've embraced it now, and I know it's true. And so now what? And so it's like, okay, I moved into that. I experienced it. I know it, and now I'm moving away from it in the sense of I don't want to just talk the talk just because it's fun to talk the talk. You know what
awareness I mean? Of your true identity operates through fullness. Jesus did not fast and pray to defeat Satan. He was fasting because that was one of the things of the tools that was used by the Father in him, which is the same Father in us. See, we think the Father and the Son are so separated, and that the Holy Spirit is so separated that there's three of them, and we can't have all three of them.
And we're just talking about concepts now.
Yeah, we're talking about concepts.
Yeah,
that's right.
Concepts.
Now we're waking up when we come out of this, and the wilderness is groping around in the dark, trying to
figure it all out.
Trying to figure it out. And now what you're looking for, you find out is where you're looking from.
And what you're looking for is right there, the one looking. That's the thing. That's the one that's looking.
You are the kingdom of God, which is the door of God inside yourself. 2,000 years ago, we misinterpreted the kingdom of God.
We did, and we still do at times. We do.
We think the kingdom of God is having all the prosperity, wealth.
Well, this is what we were taught.
That's right.
And this is what we read.
Not that you're supposed to be poor as Job's turkey.
Was Job's turkey poor? That's what I want.
But when Job was in the midnight of the soul, the dark side of the soul, his turkey was poor. It was the poor turkey. All the feathers come out.
Oh my gosh.
But bumps and lumps.
Brenda, thank you so much, sweetheart. She said it's so helpful to watch you both as we're awakening. Thank you, darling. That encourages us.
Thank you.
And we try to be as transparent as we can with how we're navigating through this and how we are coming into embodiment, how it's becoming our life, how it has become our life.
God is our inward face. He's the inner facing that we really are.
Yes.
God is the place. Each one of us are that place, and we are the door that overrides all chaotic thinking. The monkey wants to think up in the tree that he is us up in the tree. I am no longer in the tree.
I'm not that monkey either.
You sure?
I got a monkey, but I'm not that monkey.
Hey.
But you got a monkey.
I found myself.
You got a monkey, and it's a drunk monkey.
A drunk monkey? Oh, Lord have mercy. Monkey drunk, huh?
That's monkey business.
I found you inside of me and in other people.
Yes.
I found him.
I found God inside of me.
I found the peanut.
Yes.
I found the peanut. I found the clue to the walk of the Spirit.
Yeah, we have.
Well,
I put it like
the
this.
goal.
I put it like this. It was laid in front of us, and we didn't see it for years.
And
it was hidden in plain sight. And then all of a sudden, we fell into grace and it appeared. It was always there all the time, but it appeared.
Grace is
I
God.
use my niece as an example. I won't give you all the details, but she came to see us yesterday. And she had been looking for this document over and over and over, looking for it for about a week, she said.
Mhm.
And she spoke to her deaf, her dad who crossed over. She said, I need your help. And she was looking for this piece. And she said, I need to have this, and I need to have it right away. She said, right after she said that, it appeared right there. It was right there in front of her, right there.
And she said something about her son's daddy appeared or did something or said something.
Her
in
daddy.
Her daddy.
Yeah. So it was there, but it unfolded and it showed itself. It's like it.
And she found it just that quick.
I remember we used to have what was it? Some kind of dye we used to get for Easter eggs.
Yeah.
Where we would put the dye on the egg, and there was some kind of little sticker, like a what do you call it? Almost like a little tattoo.
Yeah, put it on the egg and make it.
But it didn't appear all at once.
No, it gradually.
You put it on there and you wait a little bit, and it was kind of like the Polaroid pictures.
Yeah.
They were there, the images are there, but they didn't show up all at once. It took time, and it just developed, and it
staple, stencil.
Yeah, it popped up. So it's like a lot of the things that we desire to know and see and experience is right in front of us, hidden in plain sight, but it's developing and is coming into our vision.
What we really call the growth of the spirit is awareness, becoming more aware of it, being the awareness of that part that sees things different.
You said this Sunday, and I've made it our title for our Sunday session. The more clearly you see, the less you will fight.
Now you see.
And the less you will struggle.
That's right.
The more clearly you see, the less you will struggle.
Down through here in the front of the solar plexus is a struggling energy.
It's survival mode.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
God is face to face, in our face, facing himself.
Interface.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, the Last Supper is inside of us.
Everything is inside of us.
Everything is inside.
Every character in the Bible is inside of us.
Something above and in the earth reveals itself that was already here the whole time you were searching for something. And you ever notice all the time you were searching for something when you were growing up, it wasn't satisfying the claim. Some church folks and some religious folks, which not as against anybody, haven't found that yet.
I know.
And they're still seeking it through steady praying, crying, and pleading. Once this awakening is aware of, that will cease gradually. Now, here's one of the things.
And that's the word. That's the key word. Gradually. Yeah. Now, for some people may have an instantaneous awakening and everything's cleared out, but it hasn't happened for me that way.
That's right.
It's been a very gradual process for me.
And this is the key that unlocks the inner door of the sanctuary of God.
But now I can say that while it has been a gradual procession moving forward, there were certain experiences I had, glimpses I had that were instantaneous. And there were, and I may have said it to you guys where you've heard me say it before, there was the one incident where I was in the mirror watching, messing with myself like I'm trying to make myself the most beautiful person in the world, which I used to do all the time. And I was in the mirror, and then my face transfigured, and I heard the words, these are my eyes, this is my mouth, these are my hands, and it actually changed how I saw myself in that at that moment. And I've never forgotten that. That was the first glimpse that I had. And from that, it began to expand from there. There were other glimpses that brought me to this full knowing. And hopefully you guys have had That's it.
Did I spell it right?
I think it's Hikoya, or is it Hiyoka? I don't know. It's
I know
Hikoya.
Robert Man said that's
Yeah, I mentioned that
emailed us
earlier.
that
It's
H-E
I think it's Hikoya.
Heyooka.
I think it's Hikoya, but you may have it spelled anyway. But what about it?
I would advise all of you that are listening to us to look it up and observe it, and
Let me see if I can pull it up.
because I pulled it up on television today.
There it is. It's Hikoya empath.
Is it H-E-K?
Hiyoka.
H-E-K.
I guess it's called a Hiyoka empath. Yeah.
H-E-K.
Yeah, Hiyoka empath.
H-E-K-O. Huh?
Yeah,
H-E-Y.
Heyooka. You had it right.
Yeah, I had it
You
right.
Yeah,
H-E-Y.
right. Now my thing is acting crazy. Yeah. So why did you bring that up?
Because it will tell you a whole lot about when you watch that. From what Robert let us see, it will explain why you went through certain things supposedly independently, but the Christ in
Now,
you.
and there are different kinds of empaths. This
Yeah,
particular
empaths.
one that Robert mentioned to us, and I had been looking at that word for the last week, Robert, and now here you come with it. So it's like here we are. You know, we're the same one. We're the same being. But yeah, look into that. Look into empaths altogether.
Yeah,
because it's good information for you.
And I promise you, your
But
chin will drop
it tagged you perfectly.
down to the bone.
Actuality, yeah, you are definitely a yoga empath.
So you guys respond back to us on what we're talking about, if you would, and we'll continue on. But if not, we're going to cut it short tonight.
You are?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Because I'm just I'm content as a contented cow. I got a cow that'll give chocolate milk. And he's contented.
John Reese is mentioning the movie Cocoon. Yeah.
Cocoon.
Yeah. Remember that movie? About the older people that were they discovered some kind of, was it outer space stuff, and it made them young again.
Yeah.
And they ended up going to
that's an old movie.
Yeah. Thank you, Brenda. She said yummy. So yeah, as Pastor said, we're not going to hold you long tonight, but we want to bring that back to you. So remember, you're going through this 3-stage process. You're being decolonized, deconstructed, and awakening at the same time. And we're all in different phases and stages of that. And so learning how to embody that we've awakened to, learning how to walk free from the personal psychological suffering that we've been involved in and had the conditionings that brought it about, learning how to find our place in the world and where we fit everywhere, because we're not having to fit in any particular group anymore.
Now, here's something I wrote down in my notes. The Bible is the Christ self.
Okay, how do you arrive at that?
Everything that the Bible and more of what it is in love, peace, joy, long-suffering, gentleness. The Bible is the living Christ that we are as the eternal self.
It is.
It is not something to be read. It is a knowing and awareness to be made aware of.
So now your intent to find your way into freedom will override your survival mode. It will override it. It will overtake that.
I didn't know that when I went in the closet, stillness was not trying to get still, sitting in one place, but the actual environment or the realm of in the closet, just sitting in the dark, that's stillness speaking.
Yes. Now, John, I should have mentioned this, John. Thank you for bringing that up. I should have said this in the beginning, and I didn't think to say anything. Sunday, we said that Norman possibly would not be with us tonight because he's traveling, and he's also taking care of his mom, who's recovering from a surgery. So he wasn't going to be on with us tonight. I miss him too. I talked to him earlier, and he'll probably be back with us next week if he's free. So yeah, I miss him. I'll let him know that you asked about it.
Listen to this. Waking up to the Christ identity in every man will cause the mind to seem like it's losing touch with everything that it thought was real.
Well, what you're bringing up now, which is another whole session, because there are symptoms of awakening.
That's right.
Yeah, there's symptoms of awakening that happen to us, and a lot of times we don't know what's happening because nobody's told us. There are symptoms.
They don't teach this in
there
religion.
are mental symptoms.
All they teach you there is spiritual warfare
and physical symptoms that you have when you have this awakening. Yeah.
Now we've been studied and conditioned to believe that Jesus cast out spirits by his word. But if you remember, it said that in the beginning was the word was with God, and the word was God. It did not say that the word was a book and ink and paper.
Right. That's
the
true.
word is the Christ self.
That's true. Yeah.
And it is the living word that we are. We are the living word. The eternal self. That's something you have to meditate on, because you've been used to saying, if I don't read my Bible, just don't sleep good. Well, that's another attachment. That's another spiritualized ego.
Yeah, it is.
But you read now because that is something that you enjoy doing. It's not because you're doing it to get something.
Exactly.
Because the something that you got is beyond paper and ink. I'm sorry. Not that you got, but you are.
Thank you, Brenda. She says, go forth and prosper.
Thank you. See you on the turnaround, Miss Brenda.
Use the force. Use the force.
Yeah. Let the force work through you.
We love you guys. We plan to be back on Sunday at 10. We love you guys. Have a wonderful, beautiful rest of the day.
See you at the end of the rainbow.
And we'll see you on the turnaround.
That's the turnaround.